Hi, I'm Rachel Woody with Rachel Christine Consulting, and today we're going to talk about the top 4 museum and archive funding ideas, specifically when going after grant opportunities. Working in museums and archives, we often need additional external funding in order to do any sort of special projects that help meet our mission. A lot of the time we have to go after grants in order to do this. Now, if you're new to grants or you're not quite sure what the top trends are currently for museum and archive grant funding, my work as a consultant with clients and as a grant reviewer, I've decoded the top 4 right now for museum grant project ideas that you should definitely take a look at. Idea number 1 is to do a project that is behind the scenes. Behind the scenes means all of the back, behind the store, digitizing, cataloging, taking care of the collections, organizing, all of that type of stuff that happens at the back of house. Now, while grant agencies won't want to fund anything your museum or archives should be doing already, they are interested in helping you have efficiencies in doing that. So if getting a faster scanner means you can scan more items per minute, which means more items go online, great. If you can get a piece of software that streamlines the process, that saves staff time, which equals hours of staff labor at the end of the project, that's awesome too. Anytime you can get some improvement, whether technology or workflow, that helps save staff time and resources is a great behind the scenes grant project idea. All right, idea number 2. This is museum and archive projects with the community. Now, communities being involved with the archives and museums has been a trend for at least 10 years, and it's not going away anytime soon. This is especially true now that we're trying to be more mindful of being inclusive, equitable, and diverse in our museum and archives, both in what we collect, in who we represent, how we represent, and what's on display. So take a look around, what's in your collections, what's missing, who's in your community, who's not represented, and start making some partnerships. Anytime you do a museum, community, or archives community project, it's imperative that you work with the community members as equals. So bring them in at the beginning of the project, make sure you have buy-in, make sure that those community members know that they have authority and decision making as well, and provide letters of support from these community members to the granting agency that you're applying for, because it's important to show that the community members are invested as equal members in this partnership. All right, the third idea is make the museum or archives more digital. At this point, it's pretty unforgivable if you have nothing online. And unless you have 100% of all your collections online, then there's always room for improvement. There are a lot of grants out there that are very interested in helping museum and archive collections be digitized, cataloged, and published to a free public online platform. So going after grants to help you get up to that 100% goal is a great way to go. Specializing in a particular collection area, perhaps that is not as well represented, would be a great way to go for a grant project idea. And top idea number 4 is to collect and display new things. While grant agencies won't necessarily pay for new collection items or collection acquisition, they are very interested in having displays and exhibits, both physical and digital, that have new collection ideas represented, or collection items that are presented in a different way or with different items. For example, tapping into something that is culturally relevant today, or that perhaps has more than just a history component, is really interesting right now. For example, having a art history display that also brings in science and technology and current companies that could help interact or display how they're using those techniques or items today. Doing something different, evolving the ideas, adding collection items together that don't necessarily or traditionally go together can cause us to think in new ways and are much more fresh and interesting to our audience members, which is why it is the top number 4 funding idea. So I hope you found that helpful. Check out my website to see my services. Subscribe to this YouTube channel to stay up to date on the latest tips and tricks. And don't forget to get your free electronic copy of my book, A Survivor's Guide to Museum Grant Writing, courtesy of Lucida Press. Or go to Amazon.com if you'd like a paperback. Thank you.